Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Angel Nightingale. Right. Um, Today I speak not with hate, but with love and with truth. Right. I did many videos about narcissistic abuse and narcissistic family, narcissistic mothers. Right. Today I want to express and want to talk to you all on a more personal note. I tried to do a live stream earlier and it was terrible with the connection. The connection was really bad. And I just couldn't get to put my story out there, right? Not really a story, my life, right? Because plenty of people always say it's the past and they need to move on, but at the end of the day, the past does interfere with the future. It does hinder a lot of things for the future, right? Because certain things that happen, the situation that I am in, if certain things didn't happen in the past, which is just a few years ago, I would not have been here in this situation today that I am. And it could have been avoided. That's the whole point about it too. It could have been avoided. Right? So what I'm trying to say is this. Alright. This is really hard because it's not something that I really wanted to talk about outright. And that is why I did so much different videos on narcissism. But I really didn't want to reach this point. My This is not about exposing anybody. This is about telling the truth, right? I have a narcissistic mother, right? She's highly manipulative, highly manipulative, and she is in iniquities. I am sorry I had to come out this bold, and if it was 20 years ago, I would have said, no way, right? And I'm not saying this because I hate my mother. I love my mother with all my heart and soul. I love my sisters and brothers, right? But nobody wants to talk about the how to say it, the what's in the room? I can't remember. Nobody don't want to talk about that problem, right? Everybody went through it in their own way. They went through the stress and the problems, with my mom and things like that. And they just kind of try to terrorize it, uh, you know, think about it like, she, like therapy, and we just kind of try to brush it off all these years. And honestly, I never knew what narcissists about and all these things, right? So, after going through this for how much years, right? I went up online, and that is where I started to see people talking about narcissism. And I say, oh my goodness, that is my mother. And it's so sad. It is sad, right? So let me start off by saying, I grew up in a no, I am out in the forest area, so mosquito and everything, so I might snap like this sometimes. So please don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Right? And I don't know mosquito repellent and all them things. You see, they just come out to bite. So what I'm saying is this. So I grew up in a family of 8, right? Siblings. I am the eighth, the last one, and everybody, right? Four sisters, three brothers, right? And we grew up without a father, and my mom, she tried her best. She even, we grew up in sales because she teach us that. So we used to drive around and sell from pies, lunch, the food, everything, right? And it was a great experience because it helped us to socialize more with people and to deal with all types of people because there are all types of people out here in this world, not just this country, in this world, right? You have the cat, you have the rat, you have the dog, you have demons, and you have the humans in between, right? So we learn how to deal with people out there of every level and every situation, right? But when coming to your mother, you always have a soft spot and you always have a tolerance that is beyond this world, right? Because it's your mother and you love her with all your heart and soul. And mommy, I know, ma, I just always say, I love you. Even if you don't want to believe me because you're angry and it this and it that, I love you with all my heart and soul. But I love the Lord Jesus Christ even more. And that is what we need to understand out here in this world. You see, when coming to God, you cannot love your mother, your father, your wife, your husband more than the Lord Jesus Christ. Right? Oh man, they're really out for me today. And now, just hold on 1 minute because I am getting rain now. Although I pray for it, so I'm glad for it, so I'm not complaining. So hold that thought, I'll continue. Well, I'm hoping it's a passing cloud, right? Um, so you have to be willing. It's just like the time when the Lord did tests. Right, so it's just like in the biblical times when God used people. I had all these names and I can't remember them now. You see, when you're doing something, you just can't remember certain things. So, anyway, you have to love God more than anybody else. God comes first in everything, right? Anyway, back to what I'm saying is this. So, although we grow up, with love at that time and, everything, when we reach young adults and when we reach adulthood, this is where my mom started to change, and my sisters and my brothers experienced little things with her, the attitude, and it doesn't matter if the person is a good person, um, that my sister with or that my brother with, she always have a problem with her in-laws, right? And then it reached my turn. My turn. And I know, you know, I was trying to save myself for this one person and to be with this man for the rest of my life, although he was older than me, like 30 years older than me, but I didn't care about that. When coming to love, you don't care about age. But he wasn't like age that he was an old man that, anybody would say no. He was young, but I was still younger than him, right? And yes, I said this is first getting married to my first everything. He was my first everything. And I just wanted to keep and save myself, because number one is an honorable thing to God, and number two, my dignity and my thing as a person, right? And because it didn't happen the same way for my sisters and them, right? And seeing how we we all didn't have the same father. I wanted to be my own role model and say, you know what, I want to be different in a good way. But when you have a mother that is controlling and manipulative, that don't want any good for you, it is really hard for them to see you're happy and you know you're trying to be independent, right? So throughout the years, my husband and I, we didn't really, how to say it, we didn't really had a peace, right? She hardly give you space, and then you know at the end of the day, right? Imagine if your husband gone to work and every day when he come home, he see you crying, right? So my mom used to come when my husband out there working, and so I used to do my little like work home as well, and you know on top of it I used to babysit and stuff too. So I was mostly home. So while is he out there working, my mom would come and start to tell me all kind of things about my husband, but yet when he come, she laugh and smile with him. So that's the kind of deceitfulness and thing we used to have to go through, right? And throughout the years, she always been like that, right? And she would say little things to kind of like to my husband, and you know, why should you come out and do this, and why should you come out, and you know, it's like, what the hell? Why you interfering with husband and wife relationship, right? It had times where you know he would say, you know, because working hard, and then when he come home now, he would clean up the yard and thing like that, and cutlass and thing. And my mom, oh boy, it had a day where he just decided to like you know take a rest. You know, he always getting up early and going out and clean yard and thing. And he say, you know, I just gonna rest myself today. And I say, yeah, I glad because you know, hey, what, uh, my husband and I we could cuddle and sleep a little longer. You understand? And my mom took the opportunity to come by the window, by the bedroom window, and started to chop, right? Chop grass, like you know, bring the whole one. She started thing and talking about huh, eh, like nobody ever want clean. I had to come out and imagine I had to leave my house and come in the back here to clean all the yard. You understand? And I was like, what the hell? And she in she nighty and all yeah. She in she night gong, right? Before you cool yourself inside, you come out. So it's like I say, what the hell wrong with this woman? The one time he decide he just want to relax. And throughout the years was the same thing with anybody else I had, right? But all right, my husband and I eventually we part ways, and it's a lot of reason, and she was one including in the reason why we broke up, right? Um, the hard thing about it is, y'all, um, my mom encouraged me, you know, encouraged me to build there, to build in her premises, to build a house there, right? Because we was going and build somewhere else. Excuse me, box biting, huh? Um, she, you know, we was going to build somewhere else, and she plead with me, and so sentimental to why I was crying too, because she say, you know, at least you the last one, and at least anything you could give me a glass of water if I sick, anything you could help me. You know what I mean? And you know, I agree, and I wish I could just go back in time and slap myself, because honestly, that was a big mistake. So anyway, my husband and I, we couldn't live in peace, like live like real husband, because she always like in the middle, always interfering, right? Anyway, we break up, we go on separate ways, right? And throughout the years, I say, throughout the years, the other relationship was like the same kind of madness, and it just started to get escalate into worse situations. And same thing I didn't want happen. It's the same thing because at the end of the day, my first husband, I just thought, well, this is it. And now I had to get somebody else, right? Because I'm still young. And it's the same thing. I was trying not to be like them. And the force here to be like them. Yet I'm not like them. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not like them. It's just that, yeah, you're young still and you still need somebody else. But I didn't think I want nobody else. I just thought, this is my husband, this is my first and everything. And you know, right, we could live and be happy for the rest of your life. But being wrong, that is why God said, no, do not lead your children to whoredom. Do not lead your daughters to whoredom, right? So even if you don't want to be like them, even if you think, so any relationship I have, it's still like 6 years, 7 years I together with that person, right? So it wasn't like, oh, I'll pick up a man today and tomorrow I'll pick up a next one. No, right? I really try my best to stand it through everything, and because you don't want to be like your mother or like your sisters and them, and you want to live a different way, you tend to start to stick crap in relationships because you want it to work. You don't want to be like them, right? And even if the relationship not good, you still want to stay and hold out through, and it's terrible. So anybody who watching this, I think some way you will understand what I'm talking about, right? So that is what I put you in a kind of situation, right? And all right, relationship come, break up again. So now I finally I meet somebody from a next country, a next Caribbean country, Jamaica. And we decide now that we would go. So at that time now, I was living in the front room with my mom, right, in her house, and I had my house now renting, right? Because at first she didn't want to agree for me to rent my house, but then she come around and say, all right, rent it, because I had it just lock up, right? So, but she have to get a tenant. I can't get the tenant. She had to get the tenant. So it's all about control, right? So then I meet I met this man through my brother, right? Brought him home at my mom because my mom have about a lot of apartment, right? Here flying with peace only, right? My mom have a lot of apartments, and she had them renting out and stuff like that. And she agreed that my brother friend could come and stay there. Well, acquaintance more like not really friend, but to stay, and he could go and work and whatever, and thing like that, right? Because well, his main goal was to really go Germany. But it so happened that when we do meet, because after my last relationship, I was staying in front by my mom, so I decided to rent the house, and my house that is, and so it so happened that when we do meet, his plan to go to Germany ended up switching a little bit, right? But not quite, because what happened, we came together and we decided, I had to pause this because rain coming down on me. So we decided to go to Tobago, right? And so we end up making We spent about a year and something in Tobago, and it was really like, boy, we get like, we make papers and thing, and we was doing real great. And I will tell you this, before I continue, I just want you all to hear this. Hear, 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 hear the nature, hear the birds them. It sounds so nice. Yeah, man. Now to stop because I say hear them. You see how it is? So, as I was saying, yeah, we went to Tobago, we make papers and thing, and I thought that my mom would have been so proud. Instead of that, she came up there and she started to get on, and she say, oh yeah, my daughter in the kitchen in a heat, and why you let her come back to Trinidad, Why you let her come back to Trinidad, and I will help all you to get a car and whatever, help us to get a car, but I have to pay for it. I still have to pay for it. So, you get it? But anyway, you know, my boyfriend at the time, well, he become a boyfriend. So, we come back to Trinidad because, he didn't know the type of person she is, but I was trying to talk to him, but he still didn't listen to me. He had to come and see for himself. So, all right, I cry because honestly, Tobago was the best. I born in Trinidad, but I'd be so happy to live in Tobago. Sorry, I didn't have family there, or some cousin or a friend or something. You know what I mean? And I really cry. I literally cry because I didn't want to come back to Trinidad, and I didn't want to come back down where my house is by my mom because I know we would have been going through another stress, right? And I wasn't wrong. I'm sorry, I was right. Sorry, I was right because she didn't disappoint, and she bring out all she games, and it was the worst. I'm telling you, the worst. So we went through hell from she hanging up the clothes, all my boyfriend clothes, upside down, all kind of thing, and I mean, entire thing upside down. And she don't hang up clothes, so I don't hang up clothes, so, and I mean, he coming from Jamaica is like, that is like, no, that is not good. So, we tell her about it, and then it ended up into a big argument. And so every minute they're having a little argument, and then the next minute they laugh, and then the next minute they're in argument. And I pour me in the middle trying to make peace. Uh, but we started to experience all kind of little, you know, things missing, things moving here and there and all that, right? In the room we was staying in the room in front, I still had the my house in the back renting and stuff like that, right? Anyway, we started to go through a lot of things now. Boy, it's so much that I I can't say everything right now, but I can't go into details with everything. But all I could say is we went through hell. Hell. It's sad, and it's really sad to see this, but my mother gave us hell, right? We started driving around. We get our old car. Of course, she had to choose the car, although I was paying for it. And we end up driving around, like, in the industrial area in Omera and things like that. And it was good at first. We had customers and all that. But at the end of the day, the old car was calling for a lot of things. And then, we wanted to extend the garage down by her there because we live in the yard, the same yard. But we wanted to extend the garage so the car would not be out in the rain so much. But she didn't want that. So at the end of the day, the car now was starting to rotten down because the rain falling directly on it all the rain from the gutter and everything falling directly on it. And it started rotting out. And so, as fast as we make the little money with the sales, it had to go right back and fix the car. Now, if you see I'm moving around like this all over, is because honestly, I reached a point where I had to hold the laptop in my hand now to do this video, because it's like one thing after the other. I was telling you, I was doing a live, and then I end up the live was freezing up on me so much with the internet, and then so I decided to do a video. And as you see, when I angle the laptop a certain way, the sun, I don't know what kind of sun this is, it's a different type of sun, because one minute the sun was down by the mango tree there, and then the next minute the sun the sun like it falling all over. So that is the kind of madness I'm going through. So here what? I had a whole laptop in my hand now and tape. So yeah, so we went through a lot of hell. We went through hell, right? And so I had to take a breath. So as I was saying, yeah, so the car was taken back, all the money. So, we decided, what, better we just go into, no, we end up going now. And my boyfriend, I don't want to call names and things, so that's why I'm saying boyfriend. My boyfriend now, he, he went in Grandy, and he had friends, right? He had friends in Grandy, and they had a bar, and we decided that we will ask them if we could put up a booth there and sell jerk chicken. I sell doubles in the morning, and they agree. And after we build up everything, we make it real neat and nice. We take the pallets on them, and then we fix it up, and then after that we cover it with the thin sheet and real neat, because my husband, which was my boyfriend at the time, personally right now, was a fabricator. He used to work in Harry Passad and all these things, right? So he didn't know how to do, construction and all these things at the same time. So, all right, we was doing good, and then the Chinese people opposite the bar started eat up, because people was parking by them and coming and buy with chicken and we doubles and thing, and the people can't even wait for the chicken to done cook. Don't want it thick if it half raw, and we say no, you have to wait until it cook. And it's like the people just the taste and the quality of the chicken was boss. You understand? And I'm not being biased, it was really boss. So the people on them couldn't wait, right? And my mom started to eat up herself home, and it's like, oh, she finding problem with everything. If I'm making anything inside, cooking and thing in the room and thing, because it was a 2-bedroom, but I make one into the kitchen. All right, she did not make it into her kitchen already, because she used to rent it out, and she in the next bedroom. So when I cook now, she complaining about the smell and the and thing and the pepper and it was our next set of things. So she was kind of just being provokeful, real provokeful, and it was a real fight. It was a real fight. I'm gonna see if I could pause this 1 second and see if I could get to sit down. My hand's training with the laptop in my hand right through. Hey, I better go through it. I don't know. I'm going through it, but you know what? Anytime you see I have a message in the name of Jesus, you just always get fight. And believe me, we're going through the fight. So let me see if I can pause this here. So, as you see, I'm in another area. So let's continue. So yeah, we was doing good, in Grande, selling jerk chicken and doubles and stuff. And then the Chinese restaurant, and they started gets on. She started get on and thing. Now people used to park by her, but they used to buy Chinese food too. But they used to come across by her and so they were supporting both sides. But how the world is, how selfish the world is, right? So after a time, the person who gave us the permission, which was we only stayed there like about a few weeks, right? Not even less than a month. And the person who gave us, who owned the bar and gave us the place. Now we used to sell the jerk chicken and Saturday and all them thing. And we never used to sell drinks. We used to like encourage people to go in the bar and buy the drinks. So in that way we pull in customers for them too. Anyway, um, so the bar owner now come and tell us, um, we will have to break down. We will have to move. We they don't want us to sell a key in there, right? So I say, you know what? If we had to break down, well, they had to pay us for breaking down, to break down this place, after we worked so hard, I tell you, man, so hard to have this, and then now they come with this, So, so we break it down. They still give me a little, change, nothing big, but we take it and we say, you know what? Buy some tools and equipment that we could do something, right? A little hand saw, circular saw, whatever. So at least, you know what? We see something still out of it, kind of way. So that is what we did. And so from there now we end up into construction. And then being as I mixing cement like a man, and he putting up the blocks and thing, right? And anyway, whilst we there, we end up deciding to get married. But we had to do it secretly, like FBI, CIA. We had to marry quietly because, we was getting all that fight from my mom and everybody. So we had to do it quietly, you understand? Without her knowing. But it so happened a day I forget to take off my ring. And she see the ring. And she said, "Where's this?" And we say, "Well, we get married." And she was really pissed off. But I mean, if you get in all this fight and thing, what you expect? You expect us to still come out and say, "Hey, man, we getting married," and you'll be all happy after if we get in fight all the time? So, I mean, where's the sense? You understand? And we as adults, right? My other sister, she went and married, um, in one of them courthouse place or whatever, and she didn't, and nobody didn't beat up about it. So why I different? You understand? But I mean, I had a reason behind it because at the end of the day, we kind of scared she would mash it up before it even start. You understand? Because we was on going through the fight. Anyway, so right, so that was one upset. She get over that, and then so this constant back and forth argument and a thing, and it's just like it just end up just getting worse. So then we had a old man we used to go and check. He had a scrap yard and thing, and that is how he ended up telling us, "Hey, look, a friend came to look for him. Our old friend came to look for him, and so he say, look, talk to this man." And when we talked to the gentleman, he and his wife ended up telling us about this place in a Valencia, right? And and so we started building secretly now. I tell you life. Right? And I think somebody out there maybe experience or go through the same thing I am speaking about, right? So we was building silently whilst we was going through hell down my mom, right? And just remember, he's my husband now. He wasn't. He's not from Trinidad. You understand? Although he is, well, he is fully well equipped to live here for the rest of his life or live in any Caribbean island, right? Right? So he could live anywhere in the Caribbean, right? So that is not a problem. So we we now married secretly, building a house now because we're going through pepper and hell down by my mom, right? So after we build up and thing, all this time we building up, and my sister now come, one of my sister now come and tell him, oh, all they have, mommy can't take the stress. That is narcissist there. The all us always have a way to make themselves look like the victim when them is the one attacking you and making a life hell. Eh? So, when she done talk, Michelle giving me trouble and she husband and all kind of thing. And a bunch of lie. And, the sentimental because it's mommy. And they believe everything she say. And then now my sister will come and tell me, imagine, me, who's staying in a room that all of us grew up, right? Because I was staying in front and I had the house renting still. That I will have to move out. I have 1 month to move out. My own sister give him a notice like I is a tenant. What the hell? That is what I say in my mind. So I was calm and cool still. And I went to the front because my mom was sitting down to the front and I say, well, give us at least 2 months now before we move out. Because you see, the whole idea was this, the whole idea was to push me back into my house. So they would have take away that monthly salary, the monthly rent that I get in. Or just remember, all of this is just to make sure we're struggling. Right? And I know that. That is exactly what I wanted to do. But we come now and surprise them. So when I go in front now and I say, well, mommy, give me 2 months and then we'll move out. Where you will go? Well, I didn't have to answer she, but I still say, we build it up somewhere. We build it up somewhere. So, she was like, okay. And so we fight and finish build up, right? We was doing construction all that time, eh? So we was doing construction and seeing how we could build up the place to move out fast enough. You understand? Plus, I still had my house renting, so whatever we could have put together to see how fast we could think, right? Now, in the midst of all of that, she started to come around and then she started to say, well, if I break down the place in front, because she had a place, a little apartment, it was more like a shop, but she was renting it, and so she tell us break down the galvanization and whatever, and we do all the manual labor, and we will get the pieces of the wood and whatever, right? Which we was grateful for, but of course you had to work for it. Anyway, we break down the place, so it kind of serve two matters, right? We break down the place and things, so we say, well, all right, we'll put aside that. So when we're ready now, we'll go back where we building again and thing. So we say, all right, be glad for the material. But you know what happened? She sent one of the tenants to start taking out all the material, the wood, piece by piece. So one way say break down and we could take the material, and then the next minute you're giving one of the tenant permission to just go and take the material. What? Tell me if that nice. Now she have a way when you see she angry, or when you see whether it's me, whether it's my sister, my brother, wherever, to allow the tenants and them to be part of the chaos, right? And so when she's vexed, or when she want to gossip, she pull the tenants and them in with her, and everybody now vexed with you. When they talk, when she talking to you, they talk to you. When she vexed with you, nobody ever want to even answer a good morning. And that is what I've been going through for years. And no matter how much we say, don't allow your tenants in your children and your personal business. She's just continuing with it. So anyway, we move out. She was shocked. She was saying, I still give she a kiss on the cheek and I say I gone. Right? I didn't want to tell her where we live in, but it so happened, my husband, he's sentimental, and of course, he live in Jamaica, so he never think that, in Trinidad, they will have parents like that, we go want to stop the children and all them things. So yeah, accustomed with that, and I mean, I know what it's like to really have a good family, you understand? So to have this whole twist now, where everybody just showing, well, maybe there was so all the time and I didn't know, but they show the true colors now. So I mean, it was like he was still in denial because he still couldn't understand why your mother and your family would be like that. So he still come around now after about 5 6 years, I think. About 2 years or 3 years after we move out, so I end up telling her where we live in and thing. And now, with all that, even if we didn't tell her the moment in time when we did leave and all that, I still used to go and visit her, right? And even my husband used to encourage me, hey, let me go down and look for your mother, right? So we still used to go down and check her and lime, and sometimes we spend the night there and whatever, and sometimes again she start up with a little argument again, and it's so the right. So it reached a point now that my husband, I mean, he started to get homesick. He wanted to go and visit Jamaica, and this was the opportunity now, because even his family was so like surprised to get married and all kind of thing, and it's like, wow, you understand? So they really wanted to meet me too and thing like that. So your girl went Jamaica for the first time in my entire life, because the only place I ever take a plane and went to was Tobago. So, and I am telling you the hell we went through whilst we was going through the process of going to Tobago and sell and all that, but anyway, I could always advise back on that, but let me tell you. So we went, and she wanted, well, we say we going to Jamaica, and it's the first time I'll be meeting family and thing like that, right? And she wanted to come, and we were scared. Honestly, we were scared, because she have her good side and she really bad side. So we didn't know if the bad side would show up, so we didn't want to take that risk, honestly. And so we saying next time. And I mean, for my first time, first impression, right? So we went, and for the 4 months, and it was nice. It was really nice. I didn't even want to leave. You understand? And I didn't really get to go all the places we would like to go, because we was going on a kind of tight budget already. And thing, but it was really, 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 really nice. And it Jamaica remind me how Trinidad used to be years ago, where neighbor, you have matches, you have tomatoes, you have onion, you understand? They had that togetherness. And when one man fish, and if the next man have yam, and the next one have dasheen, whatever it is, everybody come together and share up, you understand? So they had that unity, which I wish Trinidad and Tobago could have. I know in some areas in Trinidad it might still have that, but it's very rare now, right? Excuse me. It's very rare, right? And I wish we could really come back together as a people, right? So, anyway, it was really nice. 4 months up there. Now, before we went to Jamaica, before we left, I had tenants. Although I moved out and whatever, I had my house down there still, and I had it rented. And now the tenants who was there now, I had an agreement. We had an agreement together that when I leave and I go to Jamaica, they would send my things by to my hotel earlier. Sorry, right? They would send the rent money from my house through my online account, right? So even if I'm in Jamaica, at least I know I have a lot of money. But I mean, it wasn't really a spending out thing with that, because I just wanted to know that when we come back from Jamaica, at least I would have a few thousands that I could have still kind of balance myself. Because remember, we freelance and we don't have no permanent job and working in a company. We freelancing, right? So it's like, who want a tile done, who want a foundation, who want a house done, or who want, you know what I mean, right? And remember, we did done kind of spread out ourselves because we was building a house, right? Now, if things was different, we would have never had to end up leaving. We would have never had to end up coming here in this place. We would have still be in Arima, and we had more connections in Arima with work and everything, and we was in a better area. But because of the situation with my mom, and nobody, let me tell you, not a sister, not a brother, because if one of my sister could come and tell me you have 1 month notice, that just to tell you. So nobody to stand up for Michelle. The same one who took care of all the children, right? The same one who was there for them all the time. Nobody stand up for Michelle. Nobody could say, Ma, this is your daughter, right? This is my sister. Behave yourself now, right? I mean, you think if it was the other way around, and my mother, which is all your mother, right, tell me to tell one of my sister, one of my brother, that they have 1 month to leave the yard that every one of us born and grew up in, to tell one of them to say, you have 1 month to leave from here. You think I would have do that? No way in hell. I would have said, no way in hell. I would have said, nah, ma, be yourself now. That is your daughter. That is your son. That is my brother. That is my sister. How you could ask me to do that? Be yourself now. Why you so? You don't have to be disrespectful, but you have to stand up for what is right. And this is why they don't like me. Because at the end of the day, they don't like when you side with other people. But the only reason why I might side with other people, and I'm not really siding with other people, I'm standing up for what is right. What is right. I don't like deceitfulness. I don't like hypocrisy. Right? So, they will look at it like I against them, but I am against you. Because at the end of the day, they say, Michelle, you know you're wrong. And I know I'm wrong. I will say, yeah, I mess up. You understand? I expect you to take my side because you is my mother or you is my sister or you is my brother. If I wrong, I wrong. I will respect that. You understand? So, if you're wrong, why I must come now and side with you with your wrongness? That make me a hypocrite? That make me a deceitful person? So I can't do that. And I don't like injustice. I don't like to see people taking advantage of other people. Right? Coming back to Jamaica just now, you know. Right? At that time, I mean, she was talking to my husband and things like that. Same Jamaican husband I have right now. And you know what she do? Right? He was not wrong because that's what she does do. She will laugh in your face and then behind your back now she started bad talking. So she come now and started tell me now, oh, what you doing with he? And thing. And next thing you know, all the Jamaican people, all the Jamaican family and everything go want to come and take over my yard and all kind of thing. You understand? Big argument with she and I. And then when he come back now, because he step out to go out the road and come back. When he come back now, you're talking, hey, how you going, you know, and thing, how was it day? Hypocrisy. That is being deceitfulness. And because I go through so much of years of that crap, I couldn't take it no more. So, I say, oh, you're talking to him nice now. But when he wasn't here, he talked about he dirty Jamaican family go come and take over the yard and whatever. Right? And she could have fallen a hole. But I mean, I'm tired of it. Why are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? So I couldn't take it no more. You understand? So that was our next scenario, and that was long before we end up moving out and stuff. Because we were going through it. We was really going through it. Right? So, back to Jamaica. So, I don't make a deal with the people and them, my tenants and them from in my house. Right? Now it's a 2-bedroom house. Toilet and bath, drawing room and kitchen and things like that. Concrete. No clay blocks. Concrete. Right? Tile off inside and all kind of thing. Right? Water, lights, everything. And I was renting it very reasonable. And alright. I was renting it at $2,500. Right? But it was in same yard. And she have apartments up and down all over. Right? 7 apartments and all. And she was renting some of them for the same 25. But the reason why people would grab my house faster, although it's in the same yard, it was like 20 feet away from other places and whatever, right? But the reason why they would take mine, because it's a house by itself, and some of them might have to share no toilet with nobody and all them things, nobody living on top of you, nobody living below, so that's the perfect thing, and it's reasonable, you understand? Especially for Arima, hello? Right? So, the people and them agree and everything, right? They have my account to send it in my account every month, right? We shake hands, we agree, right? So, you know what? The first month in Jamaica, alright, everything go smooth with the rent and everything. But I realized now the second month now I had to be like, what going on? You understand? Boy, I had to end up giving the people and them notice over the phone because they tell me now that your mother saying not to get you no money. Right? I said, what are you talking about? Your mother saying not to send no money for you. I said, but it's my house. All you're renting from me. Why are you telling me that is my house? We made an agreement. How you could come around now and tell me your mother say, what stupidness is this? I say, you know what? Better all you move out my house. Right? So, alright. So I call up this very same day, the very same time I come off the call, and thing, and of course she denied it and say she didn't tell the man, she didn't tell them nothing. It was an old man, so they used to sit down and drink coffee, and they might gossip and talk, right? Because she accustomed doing that with the other tenants, so she started to do the same thing with my tenant, right? And so I finished the stay of the 4 months in Jamaica, upset, and on top of it, on the phone, I was like, better you pay me for my place and whatever and all them things, right? So when we come back from Jamaica now remember, I get a real disappointment, because I was expecting that when I come back now, at least I would have a few thousand well in my account, and I could see, we could still rally ourselves until we catch up and get our next, hustle or our next work or whatever, right? When I go down by my mom, I still act respectful and was cool with her. A matter of fact, I kind of blew it off a little bit, and I didn't really bring up the topic again with the people. Of course, every time tenants move out, they had to clean up and fix up and whatever, right? Because I don't know, like it's pigs sometime you just be renting. So I went and I clean up the place and all that. A month pass, 2 months pass. I can't get the place rented now. I remember I tell you, people has grabbed me real fast. So from the time I put down the ads, it gone, right? And then all of a sudden now, it's like 2 months pass and I can't get the place rented. So I realized, no, this is normal. This is something I right with this. In my spirit, I say, something not right with this. This is not natural, right? So I, of course, bring my Bible that my father gave me. That is the only thing he ever gave me, my father. And I think that was the best thing in the whole entire world he ever gave me, because he did leave a Bible for me when I was only 18 months old. So carry my Bible. My husband and I, we went down, we cleaned out the place. And we pray, and we pray, and we pray, and we pray in the name of Jesus. Right? And next month pass, nothing still. Right? And I was just tired in my spirit. And I say, you know what? I went to my mama and I say, you know what? Better you just pay me for my place. And she say, now let me tell you, even if it's your land and you give people permission to build on your land, and I as your daughter is not a stranger, right? Because how the land is estate land, so it's not to say like, and she don't want to I can't sell it to nobody on the outside because she wanted to stay in the family. And I know nobody, not a sister, not a brother, would buy it from me. So she's the only one I could have go to sell the house, right? So when so she was the only one I could have go to, right? So of course she know that, because she told me that in the earlys already, right? Many times she told me that. So I say, I better just pay me for the place. Now the place I would say, and I'm not a person who could come and estimate a land or estimate a house, right? But I mean, alright, minus the fact that it's she land, I would have say the least I would have sell the house for is probably like the least is probably like 150,000, right? It could have been more, but I just say that is the least I would have go down, right? She says she can't pay that too. She could only pay 50. And here what now? Big robbery. That robbery, eh? But you know what? For peace of mind, I say, you know what? Yeah, whatever. So, all in all, I could tell you is she makes sure and give me the money piece, piece. When I mean piece, piece, all here. Piece, piece. You know, a little 500 this month, a little 8 the next month, then a little 6, then a little 4. How I could ever see away with that? She know what she was doing, because when you do something like that now, you can't see yourself. Now mind you, I didn't want to sell my house, you know. I talking to all you out there, because you know why? Plenty of all you, and plenty of all you what know my family and thing, and some of all you who supposed to be my sister and them, who never stand up for me once, right? Will come and say I'm stupid for selling and a foolish for selling my house, and I would not put my mother in a court, right? But just for peace of mind, because it's like all my relationship, all my marriage, all my everything, I just mash up, and nobody now stand up for me. I'm talking like a Jamaican now. Nobody now stand up for me, right? So what do you want me to do? I was pressured into selling, right? She didn't have to come out and say, hey, sell me a house. She didn't want the house. She wanted control and manipulate, so she could manipulate me, right? Because it had times where she was actually collecting rent from other tenants who did rent my house before. And she used to have to actually check the money in front of me like she intimidated me with my own money. So she didn't like that. All pretending like all I know. All I went through all I own little thing. But I went through the worst of it, right? And nobody, not a sister, not a brother. I really disappointed in all. Honestly, I really disappointed. Not a sister, not a brother. Stand up for me once. He stand up for my niece, which is all he needs to. But all he never stand up for me. And knowing that all he older than me. And knowing what all he went through. All he didn't care. I always feel like an outcast. Even when I'm trying to make a little conversation, I used to be blocked out. Right? And maybe all they just look at me like, as the last I was a little baby still. But I was an adult. I reached an adult. I'm married. So don't give me that. It's supposed to have a respect for one another. With the brotherly and sisterly code. But yet when all they have trouble, yet when all they had a fallout, I was the listening ear. And I never went back once and say nothing all they say. Because you know why? It's supposed to have that sister trust and brotherly trust. But all they don't have that. And that is not good. So, what they wanted me to do? Either lock it up, let grass grow over it, and then she would have been calling me and stressing me about how the grass growing over it, what you doing with it? It's either you rent it or something, or you just have it locked up and a zombie live in it. And I think that sounds familiar to all you two already, if all you want to admit the truth. I ain't come out here to bash nobody, you know, but I come out here to talk the truth, you know why? Because just 2 days or 3 days ago, right, somebody walked up to me in a Valencia, and I didn't like that, right? And they started to talk about how my husband is a fraud, right? Your mother love you and don't let nobody change you and all kind of thing, and your husband is a fraud. You see them kind of stupidness? All you need to stop that, because they're slandering people's name for nothing. So you're wrong and you're strong. You're out of the way, because they feel I was a threat or something, right? Out of the way. I had no house there again. I'm in the forest, right? I struggling, and I should not be here. I struggling because all of we worked damn hard for what we had, right? And I worked damn hard as a little girl growing up. I didn't have to be here. I struggle, but God, I live by the grace of God. And yet still all I want to do spiritual fights too. But let me tell you, all what they're doing will come back tenfold. And it's not me, eh? Oops. God says sevenfolds. Sevenfolds it in the Bible. You understand? All what they're doing to me, it will come right back on all you. Because let me tell you something. I love all you, and I have no hate in my heart towards all you. But all you need to change for all yourself, you know. Why is it still here on this planet, you know? Why is it still here on this earth? Repent and change and ask God to change you the way you want. I just always ask God to change me the way He wants me to be, you know. Because who want to freaking go to hell? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I'm not saying I'm all perfect. I'm not. But I know I have a good heart, and I know I don't keep no malice in my heart towards nobody, and I don't have no hate in my heart. You know why? I forgive all a long time. As a matter of fact, I never hold all up anyway. But I still say, Lord, I forgive them. Because I love all with all my heart and soul. I love your mommy. But if all I can admit all wrong, then it don't make sense. Because if you don't think you're wrong, then you feel you have nothing to change. But we all getting older in life, right? We all going down, and we don't know when we day will be up. And we need to turn to God and repent and change before it's too late. Because when we die, it's too late. While you're here on the planet here, on this earth, you still have a chance. You still have a chance. Right? So all I need to wake up from this kind of ridiculous way, man. It's greed what mash up with family, you know. It's freaking greed. It didn't have to be so. We used to sing and everybody come together and laugh and sing. What happened to all you, man? What happened? All you lost all the way, real lost all the way, man. I thank the Lord that God keep me, you know. And after all of that, I still used to come down and look for my mother. And I say, you know what? It just reach a time I say, not a sister, not a brother, not even call and say, me, how you going? But all they used to call me when all they used to want to complain about you because you know I only fall out with you. But you know what? When it's me alone. Nobody to talk to me. Nobody to think. What kind of sister all is? What kind of brother all is, man? And I wouldn't call it. But the one brother doing iniquity on his own mother. And they expect to see away. Not because she doing iniquity, you have to do iniquities too. Let me tell you something, All them need to wake up. And I'm saying this because I love all and I don't want to see all go the wrong way. But at the end of the day, it's all their choice, you know. And as I say, I don't like what happened the other day. Right? It's 2 days or 3 days ago. Right? A man just walk up to me. His face look familiar, but honestly, I can't place where he come from. Right? I ask him what his name. Yeah, up to now he answer me. Right? He just say, your mother I love you, you know, and don't let nobody change you, and your husband is a fraud. I don't like them kind of stupidness. Here, my husband is perfect. We just have the argument, nobody is perfect. But at the end of the day, he stand with me too. Right? So I just say, gosh, if we had a part one day, is we freaking business. Not all your own. Right? Out of all the life, and I'm no threat. All I feel I was a threat because I would have get everything and thing. I'm not there anymore. I'm not there anymore. I have no ties down there anymore. So stop calling my name and all them out with people and stop lying. I don't like nobody lying on me. And I don't want nobody lying on my husband either, because at the end of the day, we ain't doing all and nothing. I never doing nothing wrong, mommy. I never doing nothing wrong, sisters and brothers. Right? So stop slandering my name. Right? Because the same way how the man walk up and tell him how can I stupidness, it's the same way he could have walk up and freaking bust my husband's head, or stab him or something, or they will put people in trouble. And if this continue, I think I will really have to call Mr. Ian Allen. Right? Because we just talk. And if all they continue with this, I really will have to call him. Because I'm tired of it. Right? All they need to turn all their life to Christ. Change before it's too late. I ain't interfere with nobody. I ain't hate nobody. I just keeping away. Until God himself warn me. And whether you believe it or not, God warned me multiple times. And that is why I'm not coming back down there ever, ever, ever again. So please, leave me in peace and stop slandering people's name. Stop telling people how kind of stupidness. If I didn't do that, I would not have to make this video right now. I ain't interfering with all that. We ain't telling nobody nothing. Leave me alone. If you know you can't tell the truth, don't go around spreading lies, please. Don't go around telling lies. Right? And I'm not threat to all you. I ain't there. I ain't interfering with nothing. I don't want nothing. Because at the end of the day, when you're dead, you carries nothing with you. Material stuff don't frighten me. Because at the end of the day, you carries nothing with you. Right? So, I don't have no house. I don't have no nothing down there anymore. Right? All they should not be happier. Everybody should not be driving Benz and Mercedes and whatever. All they're not supposed to be. What's going on? So when you're telling people all kind of thing for them to come up and walk up to me, suppose they did walk up to my husband now and thing and accident and whatever and death. You think that will get? You think it will get away so? He's an ex-military, you know. You want Air Force and all kind of shit to come in at Trinidad here and all, yeah, what? You wouldn't want his family and he people. I come here after all, you know. Only need to stop them stupidness. And whoever it is, your face look familiar, but honestly, I can't picture, it's the first time in my life I can't picture who you are. I don't know if it was an ex-tenant before or what. Right? No, you can't come at people just so. There's always two sides to a story. And if it's so gullible, and here you come up and tell me to, you were supposed to be my wife. And all kind of stupidness. I don't want a husband like you, because if you're quick to believe whoever you hear some stupidness from and want to come with me with that, who the hell he is? No, you don't do people that. Suppose it turn around the other way now and he come and he start a fight, you know. What would I say? You don't do people them thing. Wake up all here. We is big people. I is not no little girl again. I is not the same stupid little Michelle where all I could have just have and you know thing. Everybody just grow up. I grown up now. Right? And I wake up. And I always used to pray. Is God keep me. All you turn all your life around in the name of Jesus Christ. I love all you. Please, wake up before it's too late. Mommy, I love you. And I don't care whether you believe it or not. I love you with all my heart and soul. Right? That is why I went and I take geriatric nursing, right? Because I say at least I'll be there to know how to take care of you properly. And instead, what it did when I leave and go to Tobago, you burn my certificate. After I worked so hard, 9 months, at that time it was 9 months, You think it's easy to get back that? I can't get it back, right? So what kind of stupidness is that? Oh, you know what? Because I didn't tell them to go to Tobago, and I didn't control them and tell them what to do. I'll bond the certificate. I'll, and a few things that I had in the room there when I leave and go to Tobago, it was missing. So it's either I let I am want to call she name. Either I let the tin girl, one of the tenant there, go and take it and whatever. Right? I mean, and that is not right. We go through too much. And I mean, oh gosh, man, if you don't want to talk the truth to everybody, think about it when you lie down in your bed now. Nobody, and I'm saying this again, nobody not going to leave knowing that they have the house to come in a freaking bush to suffer. Nobody are leaving, selling the house or leaving the house, right? When they could get something every month, so they would not have to be stressing out and studying where the next meal or where the next thing coming from. Nobody would have do that. Nobody are doing that just so. I was pressured and I was pushed into this. So stop lying to people. That is why I'm here to tell you truth. And I go down into all the nitty details. Right? And I call nobody name. Right? Because I'm not going to be like all here. But stop lying on me. And stop lying on my husband. You hear? Because I'm tired of that. And honestly speaking, if this continue, I really think I will really have to call Mr. Ian Allen. I love all you. Wake up. Please. I just pray for all you every day. Every night I just pray for all you. Mommy, every night I just pray for you. Wake up, please. Before it's too late.